What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here with the whole gang. We have Kevil, Dilly Vanilli, and the Eagles fan, fresh off his whipping of the Minnesota Vikings. AC before we even get into any of the statistics, any of the breakdowns of the games. How you feeling right now? You're back in the Super Bowl after a 14-year absence.
Yeah, it's crazy. Going into this game, I was happy that we were here, and I know the Minnesota Vikings were good, but I have belief in this team, and there were so many doubters, and that's why we took this underdog thing, because when Carson Wentz went down, every single article was the Eagles had no chance. They were going to get knocked out their first round. Multiple of you guys said that. Mitch, you did change your story in the playoffs and pick the Eagles all the way through. I respect that because of maybe who they played, but for some other you didn't think they were going anywhere with Foles as the quarterback, and I was surprised. Everyone was surprised. Foles looked like a different quarterback. He looked like that 2014 quarterback when he was on the Eagles. He was a gunslinger. He made every throw. He looked confident, and that's what we needed. And that defense. And I'm going to call you out, Mitch. I'm pretty sure they scored on the first. Minnesota looked really good on that first drive, and you said good game.
I was joking.
Well, but still,
come on.
I think you were trying to poke the bear a bit there, which
I was just trying to annoy you a little. That's all.
I know that's why you did it, but it didn't work out. So
no, but let's be honest. That first drive was terrible. But besides that, they played their best game of the season.
Who, the Eagles did? Yeah, like you could say that was the Eagles for sure. They played, but I've seen them play defensively like they did, and we've seen that offense work like it did normally against subpar teams. And I know, Mitch, your narrative of this game is going to be that the Minnesota Vikings defense is overrated, which a lot of people
not really.
That's what you're saying in the chat. That is this defense overrated? I think I was just a very good defense
because I know how high some people have been on this defense.
I think our defense proved that we're better than Minnesota Vikings defense in this game. I knew Keenum would have a big-time problem. We called it. It's funny. We thought it was going to be a close-scoring game, but when we did that preview, you backed me up a lot on what we were talking about, what I was saying, what you were saying, and all that went the Eagles' way. Everything we said went the Eagles' way.
I think way more than I expected. Like, I expected, some of the things that happened in this game for the Eagles to win, I expected to happen. Okay? Mm-hmm. The Eagles' defensive line dominated. The Eagles' offensive line dominated. And they got a couple turnovers. Besides that, though, I did not expect Nick Foles to go off.
Crazy.
And make crazy plays, which was really opened up the entire game. The Vikings to completely not show up. And the Vikings to get totally outcoached. Yep. I did not expect those to happen, but I did expect all the other things for the Eagles to be successful in this game to happen. So it was kind of a weird game, almost like too much. Like I didn't expect all this stuff to happen all in one game. Like usually, at least in an NFC Championship game, some things go one way, some things go the other, like we saw in the Patriots game. But this was totally not the case. It all went the Eagles' way.
And like before we get into the game, the one thing I do want to stress is there's something different with this Eagles team. And I know a lot of Eagles fans are bringing this up. This doesn't feel like the McNabb era days where there was a lot of egos. Andy Reid didn't seem to have a lot of control. I'm a huge Andy Reid and McNabb fan, but this seems different. We had a lot more egos, the TO drama. We had guys like Freddie Mitchell, who was a third receiver that would just talk all this smack. This team seems different. And obviously, I'll say, like, bringing Long in, donates his whole salary. Jenkins, what he's doing off the field. Wentz getting injured, and you could see what's Teddy Bridgewater doing. Teddy Bridgewater is sitting there. He's supposed to be their starting quarterback next year.
Teddy Bridgewater is the third string quarterback, though.
I understand that, but at a time, he's sitting there, not even talking to Keenum. Look at what Wentz was doing. He was coaching. He was there. He's there. Everyone's buying in, and it's not about individual players. And Wentz is the first guy to take a back seat. It's not about individual players. There's something going on with this team. In that locker room, that they're coming together and making plays to win. And even when people are doubting them, but doubt them all that you want. Like it's going to be, we won't get into the Super Bowl yet, but this game was people are calling it one of the best Philadelphia playoff wins in any sport since probably, I guess 2008, but that was the Phillies. Like this was a beatdown in Philly. in their home against the second best team in the NFC, a team that everyone thought was way better than the Eagles. They just destroyed them, and now we're on our way to the Super Bowl.
Hey, I didn't think that.
Awesome.
You didn't think that. So I mean, like, did we? Everyone actually think that?
I think so.
There are a lot of people who did, but I don't know. I would say the majority.
I think a majority of people thought without Wentz. Well, obviously, we have two guys that picked the Vikings.
Okay, so let's hear from the guys that picked the Vikings. What went wrong for the Vikings? What did you not expect to happen? And what threw you off about this game? Let's hear from those guys.
I didn't think the Eagles were going to come out there and be this dominant. I didn't expect that. 38-7. Keenum looked really pressured all the way through. Wasn't able to make complete passes. The defense knew what they were doing. The first drive looked impressive. I liked what I saw from them, but afterwards, the Eagles were able to capitalize on some good stuff, and I don't know. It just went their way. It was just a domination. Once the Vikings were down, they weren't able to come back. They weren't able to readjust. At halftime, I'm thinking they're going to get some kind of momentum. They're trying to get these stops, but they could never focus on it, and their defense was terrible. There's one thing you would think like, oh, they're going to get this defense going, but they weren't able to capitalize on that. They weren't able to get first downs, the third down conversion on defense, which has statistically been really good coming into this thing.
The best since 1975.
It was terrible.
What the hell happened?
They just kept going to Zach Ertz. He was incredible on third down, and that really killed them on long drives. They were creative. The flea flicker touchdown to Torrey Smith was impressive.
Who looked like he was in 2012 edition.
Yeah, not regular Torrey Smith we've seen this season, like actually good Torrey Smith. Jay Ajayi was really good. The O-line, which is one of the best in the league, if not the best in the league, went out there and played ball. It's impressive. It's impressive what they did. I just thought the Vikings were going to go out there, make this a little bit more competitive, but their defense was not there.
I expected a close game. I wouldn't have been surprised if the Eagles won. I remember also saying that I wouldn't have been surprised if this game went to overtime because I did think that this was going to be a closer matchup.
But it's not that they won; it's how they won.
No, and Kev, too, you did say at the end of the day, you said you didn't trust Foles as much as you did Keenum. That was your point.
I did not.
That was your point, Kev.
But let me say stuff.
Let him explain. I'm just trying to.
Let me say stuff. What the Eagles did, I expected. I expected them to play a hard, physical game. I expected the Vikings to match it. They started off that way, and when that interception, when the pick six happened, you just saw them deflate. The flea flicker, you saw them deflate. Anything that went against the Vikings today, they deflated. And I think there was no telltale sign more than what happened when it was 31-7, 4th and goal. They don't get the call. It wasn't a catch. They should have just went for the field goal. It's just like the team. The team died at that point. Well, I think the team was already dead, but that was last race.
If you don't get a touchdown there, you have no chance. If you get a field goal there, you still have no chance. You need a touchdown.
Whatever.
You need a touchdown.
Whatever. But there was no. I mean, either way, there was no effort from that point to stay in the game. It was like the Vikings took any trial that they had.
Because, Kev, I think that was the game. If they get that, then they're in it. If they don't get that, they're out.
I think that there was a lot of things even before that. I think the interception before that.
It's fair.
I think that hurt. I think there's so many of those things, of those adversity things that happened to them, they never really responded to them. And I think that was ultimately, and the Eagles played the way I expected them to play. The Vikings just didn't show up. And I asked this in the chat. I think in some ways, the Vikings disrespected the Eagles. Almost similarly to what the Steelers did to the Jags, in the sense of that you expected, because you have home field, and that was all the talk, is like the first home team have home field. And we forgot that there was another game to play, and they were relying on this team of destiny stuff, and they didn't seem prepared or adjusted. And that, to me, was the biggest disappointment of the Vikings. Foles had all day to throw.
And we talked about this.
Throw.
Yep.
And those receivers were not like just barely wide open. There was times where Alshon Jeffrey could have walked to the Wells Fargo Center to pick up some tickets for the Flyers game, and then the Liberty Bells. Nobody was on him. I just was shocked at how bad the Vikings played.
Yeah, it was shocking. Their defense was shocking. Even with the time, we've seen like Nick Foles. This was the game of his career. Yeah, he's played great in the past, but this was the game of his career. This was the game of his life. Even with time, I still thought the Vikings would be able to get stops.
Yeah,
it just never came together. But I think part of it for me was the inability to adjust, the inability to, on defense, do something different. With all that talent that they're supposed to have and the #1 scoring and the #1 yards and all this stuff, the inability for guys like their coaches and their players to adjust to what the Eagles were doing was insane. Like, I was watching this and I was just like, okay, are the Vikings going to do something different? Because they're just getting shredded over and over again. That one drive, I think it was the Eagles' first scoring drive. They just did RPO play action slant like 6 times on the drive. It was just Alshon Jeffrey for 10 yards, Alshon Jeffrey for 10 yards, and there was no pressure. And we talked about this. I talked about on the preview, at least with AC, might have as well on the big preview, but talked about the 5-man rotation for the Vikings and how ineffective they've been down the stretch, especially on the road. They've been very banged up, and in this game, it showed that they are very fatigued, and they couldn't last the length of the game with the physical Philadelphia Eagles pounding it down their throat and taking it to them. The Vikings 5-man rotation, that's simply not enough players. You see teams like the Eagles with all these different guys, like AC likes to say, a line change. They come in, and this is what you need in the modern day NFL with the amount of passes that there are. The Vikings simply didn't have that rotation where they could rely on guys. So you have Everson Griffin going after the quarterback, and he's just tired. And he's played 90% of the snaps for this defense all year. We saw it against the Saints in the second half, and we saw it in this game. I think that was one of the biggest factors to this game, that the Vikings could not get pressure whatsoever on Nick Foles, a quarterback when he's shown when he has confidence, he can make the throws, and definitely in the second half for sure, and the second quarter, once he got that time, it was over, man. He was making throws. He, like AC said, he looked like Tom Brady out there. That one throw where he freaking ran outside the pocket and like launched it over 2 guys. It's like, holy, like this game is just, I can't believe it.
And what I'll say about that defensive line thing is, I think just like I'm going to give more credit to the offensive line than the lack of if they got tired, because we saw in both these games, the team that had their offensive line played better than the other team's offensive line won the game. Like this Eagles team won, this O-line won the game. That Patriots O-line was unbelievable. Giving to, like Tom, obviously Tom was hit. You're going to see that against Jacksonville, but they were very good when it counted.
And also I think that they wore them out. The other team, they wore the other team out.
And yeah, especially on the line of scrimmage too. And then you saw that too late in the Patriots game as well, that the New England's defensive line started playing really well too. So you saw the best, you saw the line win games today. Obviously there were some big plays, but I thought offensive lines on the Eagles and the Patriots were better than the other team's offensive line. And I think that's what it came down to. Plus, Foles making unbelievable throws.
Especially the Vikings offensive line. They were dreadful.
That
one Derek Barnett strip, like what in the hell were they doing?
Yeah, that was,
There we go. First team All-Pro rookie.
Let's pull a lineman across to block a defensive end. He's just going to run right by you and strip the ball. I don't know. Dilly, you were cheering for the Vikings in this game, bro. What's your reactions to the way that these Vikings played, man?
Did they play? I don't know. Yeah, I was cheering for the Vikings, but
you just look speechless over there. People need to know.
Did the Vikings play bad or did the Eagles just dominate?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
That's what I want to know.
Both. Because when the Eagles went out there, they had this game plan. They had this setup where the Vikings just couldn't keep up with them. There was no intensity from the Vikings. When you see the Eagles team, they're like, okay, I know what our game plan is. They're very smooth at how they did it. They went out there, they capitalized. The Vikings just there was no answer. If you give up a score, it's like, where can we change the next play up? And the Vikings never did that. I thought at halftime they down 17 because you gave up 3 unnecessary points. Like, I'm sorry, like the Eagles did very good job at that, but the Vikings should not have given that up. You're down 17, you got a chance. Nothing. Just there was nothing there. There's no communication. There was no execution of anything. Case Keenum couldn't be the quarterback hero that he was playing last time. It's just what it was. The Eagles.
Okay, let's talk about it. Case Keenum.
You'll never see him again as a starting quarterback. He's back into the depths of being a backup for the rest of his career. He might get some shots, but he'll never be a week 1 starter again.
You know what? I think a team that is in need of a quarterback might bring him in to give him a shot, but it will be one of those situations like Mike Glennon, where it will be like, okay, we're going to sign this quarterback, but we're also going to draft one, and we'll just see what happens. That's what I think he's going to be. But I don't see him as a Viking next year after this performance.
So Bradford's the quarterback going forward?
It's between him and Bridgewater. They really love Bridgewater. So I think it's probably going to be Bridgewater, even though I'll say it. He's a great guy. I'm still not sold on Bridgewater as an NFL.
No, not at all. But I just think this the way Keenum played in this game, that especially with his circumstance of being kind of that the guy that's always played for different teams, they always bring him in to be kind of a backup, but always get some starts. A game like this puts that guy back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I think the Eagles somewhat exposed him to, okay, he's not very good under pressure. The Vikings offensive line wasn't very good in this game, but there was a number of times where he made poor throws. He also did okay in escaping a couple times, but he just couldn't seem to make the throw at the big time. Now, I didn't think he was very bad. Like, they moved the ball at times in this game, but like he just wasn't good enough for what they needed in this game, especially with the Eagles lighting it up on the scoreboard the way that they did. So it's going to be an interesting future for Case Keenum. He had a great season, a great run, but today he just wasn't good enough. And especially, I think a big question was it more the Vikings? And this is also a question about their team. Were the Vikings really as good as we thought, or were they just a really good home team?
That's a good question. It's a good question. I'd just say like this, the way they played this season and the way their defense played, because obviously they still won on the road, but their offense wasn't great. But this was a team that we were like, they have guys at the skill positions. Latavius Murray was the 5th best rusher since week 8. Like it was hard to be like, this was the type of game they would find. Especially with that defense. If that defense even, plays a bit better, it still would have been tough, because like the Eagles still would have won like 28. They could have won, even if the defense played a bit better, they would have won 21-7. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's still, the Eagles would have won this game in any scenario with that defense. I just think that offense, I don't know, there was something, they couldn't run the ball. And Keenum under pressure, you saw it. He throws in a direction, and obviously there was a couple times where when he's pressured, he just gets it out of his hands.
And we know Schwartz likes to pressure and blitz a lot, and for some reason Troy Aikman didn't think that. I don't know if he's watched an Eagles game this year. But like, whether it was 4-man rush or blitz, the Eagles just seemed to be, okay, we're just going to blitz this guy a majority of the time, and that's what's going to beat him. Like, that's going to be the end of Case Keenum, is the blitz. It's really what it seemed like for a majority of this game.
Yeah, I guess a part of what Keenum's future is, I guess this is really going to depend on what you think how much stock do you put in Minnesota? How much stock you put in the fact that was a great throw by Keenum, or it was a huge mistake by Marcus Williams? I think that's going to be the question going forward with that.
Some teams could give him the opportunity. It just kind of depends on where he goes, where he's assessed at. I just don't think it's going to be with this Vikings team. Obviously they're not going to have the same 3 guys. They're going to have.
I don't think that Bradford and Bridgewater are better than Keenum. I'll just say that. I've never been a big Bridgewater fan, and I'm not a Bradford fan. I don't think that they're better than what they have, though. I will say that.
I don't know. I can't answer that
The
question.
only thing you could say is Bradford looked really good at the start of the season before he got injured.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking. Like, I wanted to see what Bradford could do.
Do the Vikings try and go out and sign a Kirk Cousins?
Somebody put that in the chat. I like that idea, actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Do they have the money, though? I don't even know.
Hmm?
They have the money to do that?
I'd have to check what their salary cap thing is. They might.
But I look at that being if Bradford was playing, if Bradford had a solid season and played in this game, and the same thing would have happened if it was Bradford or Keenum, and that would have been a Bradford killer. You know what I mean? Like any of those three quarterbacks playing in this game
because of how poorly the defense played.
For sure, but it made them
for the Vikings to beat any team in this playoffs. They couldn't have given up 30+ points.
No, not at all.
No,
any team. They could have played the Bills, and if they would have given up 30 points, they would have lost.
I think a lot of it too is you look back at that Saints game last week and how they were up 17. They were up 17-0 on the New Orleans Saints, and they came back.
And I'm going to say it. We haven't said it yet. I wish the Saints played in this game.
They
should have played in this game.
I was saying that when we were playing, when the game was on. I said I wanted the Saints, and then you were like, "Kids, you want to play the Saints more?" I'm like, "No, I want the Saints to win." But the Vikings with Keenum, that's the thing. That's why it's going to be tough against the Patriots, because a good quarterback can, if they get the ball quick enough and we can't get pressure, can pick this secondary apart, and that's going to be really interesting. But I do think that the Eagles would have scored 45 on that Saints defense,
the way that they played today.
Exactly.
But I also don't. I honestly am going to say this. I don't think the Saints defense would have played as poorly as the Vikings did today, because I think that.
Yeah, but we don't know that. The Vikings were the second best defense in the NFL, and then they played like.
I know, but
so you're saying the Saints that was like a 15th?
I feel like they would have been better prepared, and I also feel like they're not as worn out as the Vikings defense.
Okay,
and they showed that in the second half last week with the pressure they put on Keenum.
Yeah, that was one thing. So I think this leads to two questions. Because Mike Zimmer has won. There's one elephant in the room. Mike Zimmer has won one playoff game, and that was
he's fine.
But do we put him as an elite coach? Because I
think he's a good coach.
He's a good coach.
I don't think we can say he's an elite coach because he just got totally outcoached by Doug Peterson today. He got totally outcoached today.
Mitch, you bash Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin's fucking terrible.
I don't know if Zimmer's much better. It's better. Really.
Zimmer's better.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Does Zimmer have Ben Roethlisberger?
Zimmer had a 6-0 team and missed the playoffs. Zimmer's had one playoff.
His whole team got hurt. Like basically his whole team.
Okay, Belichick's had injured teams and still found a way to make the playoffs.
We're talking about. Okay, do we really want to talk about Bill Belichick?
But I mean, I'm not comparing Belichick to Zimmer, but like I think it's like everything we're saying today. You just said it. We're outcoached. The Saints outcoached them in the second half. They found a way to adjust.
Sean Payton's a great coach. I'd argue he's a Hall of Fame coach.
Okay, so
and Doug Peterson just proved. I'm gonna say this. Doug Peterson proved that he is the coach of the year. No question. I don't care what you say about Sean McVay. Whatever. They lost in the first round. Peterson without Wentz just lost one game without Wentz, and it didn't even matter. Without Wentz, and just made Foles look like Tom Brady. Doug Peterson is the coach of the year. We were 7-9 last year. He is the coach of the year.
And he did outcoach Zimmer, and he's not as experienced as Zimmer. I don't know. I don't,
No, Peterson was awesome today. I can't. All coaches except for Zimmer today were great. I thought Patriots coaching staff was great. Jaguars coaching staff was great. Eagles coaching staff was great. I thought all coaches were great today, except for Zimmer and except for Pat Shurmur and their defensive coordinator.
And Shurmur's gone. Shurmur's going to New York, so.
Yeah. Good old Giants. Yeah.
That's it. I told you it was a mistake.
They ain't gonna do
Yeah, but all Pat Shurmur has to do is, throw to 13 and we're okay, and he'll look good for like the season.
They're still going to have that QB situation going on there. Fucking Eli.
13, you need to find someone to throw that ball to 13, and you need to make
Did you watch the first 4 games of the season? That's literally all they could do.
They still sucked.
I know, they were terrible.
3-13. Yeah. Oh yeah, they're back into contention. Yeah, shut the fuck up. It's the Giants. Like you got Eli Manning on your squad. You're not doing shit.
Another thing I do want to say is I don't think that we give. Alshon Jeffrey was great today.
He was very good today.
And
I question what was up with Xavier Rhodes these last couple of games.
He really looked hurt today, obviously.
Yeah, well, I didn't he leave the game?
And I don't know if it was a combination of.
It's funny because he wasn't on the injury report.
Yeah,
was he hurt? Was he slow? Or was the pass rush in the beginning of the season the reason why he played so well?
I think that could have been it. This is a league too. If you don't get pressure on the quarterback, you're going to make even the best corners look bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Because no corner can cover for longer than 5-6 seconds. Sometimes they can, but after the trained route is done and receivers are just doing whatever they want, it's tough to cover. And that's maybe we saw a bit of that too. And I did think Newman. I said it was horrible. And same with I said Trey. I don't think Trey Waynes was very good as well.
No, Trey Waynes is just he's not. I don't know. He's not very intelligent. Like, he's not a very smart player. He has
imagine being a player. Like, I'm not intelligent.
Like, football IQ wise, Trey Waynes is not up there. Like, he's fast as fuck, but like he's just dumb. I don't know like how else to explain it. You watch this guy and he's just like always out of position.
He said Bortles was going to do this, and then he did it good. Now it's going to come back to it's going to be on Waynes now. Now he's going to have a great next season.
Sorry, what?
Like when Bortles today, you're like, we're all talking about all the hate and stuff, and he did very good today. So now Waynes is going to do very good next season. I tell you what.
He's not a bad player, but he's not a good player.
He's just.
I don't know if it's interesting because when I'm thinking of the Vikings right now, I don't know if I have them back in the same NFC elite conversation.
Well, especially with a healthy Rodgers, Bears getting better, Detroit new coach, they're in trouble.
The thing is that NFC is very tricky every year. It always becomes a wild card situation.
Yeah, Vikings could definitely be a letdown team.
They could be going back to the same kind of situation.
And I wouldn't have said that even this morning, even though I picked the Eagles to win.
Because
I wouldn't have said that this morning.
All of us had them going at the best 9-7 in the regular season, like when we were doing preseason.
No, I had them in the playoffs.
I didn't have the Vikings in the playoffs.
10-6.
Playoffs.
But it wasn't much better than 9-7.
I'm talking about like when we first started.
Yeah.
You said that you did that a week after.
What are you talking about?
You had them 9-7 when we did that predictions video.
No, I actually put them in the playoffs, right, Kev?
He did put the Vikings in the playoffs.
Remember, I switched it from the Cardinals to the Vikings, which was thank God.
Cardinals.
Yeah,
I had them 6-10. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Which was one of my only good picks in the NFC. I'll say that much. But it was one of them. So, but yeah, that definitely I see it. NFC North is going to be tough next year.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be the best. I think that'll be the best division, honestly.
All right, so just going over the leaders of the game. Nick Foles, we talked about him. 26 for 33, 352, 3 touchdowns. This looks something out of
perfect passer rating.
141.4. Close.
So a couple incomplete passes late then.
Yeah. Case Keenum, 28 for 48, 271, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 63.8 passer rating. One was returned for a touchdown.
Mitch.
What did we think about that pick 6? Personally, I thought it was a combination. It didn't really look like Chris Long got that much of a hand on him. I thought it was still a bad throw regardless.
It would have been a little bit of
it probably wouldn't have got intercepted, but it was still a really bad throw.
Okay, first off, I'd like to point out this says Minnesota Vikings 9-7 on the predictions. So there you go. That's our NFC North preview.
Yeah, but I had them in the playoffs.
You had that afterwards, though. You didn't say. You just said 10-6, and that's not right. They were going to make the playoffs with a 9-7 record.
After that, I put them in.
I know that I'm saying.
Literally a day after.
Okay, they should have been in that video.
If Kev remembers, then it happened.
He should have been in that video.
Playoffs.
I think we should talk more about the Eagles.
Yeah, can we get to the Eagles here? Because we're talking far too much about a team that lost.
I just wanted to tell you. I just want to put that out there.
All right. Okay, so what was our thoughts on that interception? And AC, what was going through your mind during that interception? And then also, we'll talk about some of the throws Nick Foles made.
Okay, it's 7-0, I guess, and I guess we had we were able to move the ball a couple times because it was their third possession, I think, right? Or their second. It was their second possession. So we were able. It's funny because Foles just missed a couple throws that throw to Trey Burton, right? Like we got a first down, and then Trey Burton couldn't get his toes down.
I don't know why he jumped for that. But.
Yeah, that was bizarre. And then I knew that this was going to happen at some point in the game. I thought there was going to be an interception, pass rush, and due to Keenum just throwing it sometimes just wherever he wants, I did not think it was going to return. But when he got it and he had tons of room and then cuts back, and then Darby was just watching the play and sees he cuts back, runs. And I love how people on Twitter are like, Darby got lit up. I'm like, yeah, okay, but he blocked. Who cares?
He blocked and got the touchdown.
Well, I mean, he's 5'9", like $150.
McKinnon was focused on getting
like Conor McGregor.
No, but McKinnon was like, F this. And that's what you kind of, maybe that was, you look at the Vikings. Do they want to make the play or do they want to just piss the other team off? But that was unbelievable, 7-7. And then when the offense got to 4, and then we were able to move the ball, and then we got to 14-7, and then it looks like 2 minutes left. They're driving. I think it's going to be 14-10 going into halftime, the same score as the Pats, Jags, and a strip sack, and we go down and score there, and then get the ball back and get a field goal, and all of a sudden we're up 17, just like that. And it was great. Yeah,
that field goal, I was like, what are the Vikings doing? The Eagles just had enough time to capitalize on that, and I was like, that really screwed them over in hindsight.
Yeah, because it kind of looked like the Vikings were expecting them to take the knee, and then that run, the Blunt touchdown, he pretty much was dragging Vikings.
He destroyed the Vikings D line. He went right into Sadejo and just fucking ran him over. I was like,
I think he got a concussion on that play. I don't think they wanted to say anything about that, but I'm pretty sure he got concussed on that play. He got fucked.
Yeah. He came out of that. Rhodes got hurt on.
He left the game.
He left the game for that.
Also, I just want to say to Dylan, Ultra says Mitch had the Vikings in the playoffs, but losing in the wild card round. Good job, Ultra.
I'm saying that was after. My point still stands that when we made that video, that was how the case was. So we're both right.
Whatever, Dylan. Whatever.
Okay, I'm just saying we're both right. No, wrong.
And one thing I do want to bring up here, I think the thing that I'm left with the Eagles that I think is going to be very interesting, and we'll talk about this more in the next game, I would argue that they were more physical than the Jags overall, and I do think that that's going to create some interesting problems for the Patriots.
They were?
No,
maybe they were. Yes, they were. Today they were more physical.
We won't get into it, but I'm right there with you.
I didn't see that.
I'm right there with you, Kev. And
very physical.
We'll get into the matchup, but I do think, and obviously, the Eagles' defense is going to cause the Patriots troubles, very similar to what the Jags did today. They still win, but I do think the Eagles can be able to score more points than Bortles. So I think it's going to be interesting.
I disagree on that.
Going to win this game. I'll say that.
Okay. No, I disagree on that point about being more physical. I saw a pretty physical Jags team today. I think
in the first half, but they didn't. Seen it.
It's hard to keep up with the Patriots for 4 quarters. You can ask the Atlanta Falcons or the Seattle Seahawks about that.
What happened in those games?
Patriots won both of them.
Oh, go crazy! Cool.
All right.
When were those? Last year, and then the 2 years ago.
Yes, and those were also Super Bowls, which the Eagles don't play in. Okay.
Well, they're in one now.
We're in one now, man. Like, what are you talking about, dude? The pressure's on. I know Mitch when he's watching this Eagles game was scared. You were scared.
No, I wasn't at all.
You were watching this game and you were seeing everything that the Eagles could do to beat the Patriots in your head.
Not at all. Not 100%.
At all. I pressure's on you, bud. Pressure's on you.
No, because you know what? This is funny because AC is going to say these next 2 weeks, and we're not supposed to talk about the Super Bowl, but these next 2 weeks, AC is going to be like, oh, pressure's on you. We're house money. But as far as I'm concerned, the Patriots are house money. I would have never thought, being a Patriots fan, that we would have gone to 8 fucking Super Bowls. I'm happy regardless.
Yeah, because your team's unbelievable. I know, but
I'm happy regardless. This is going to do just more for the legacy of the Patriots. I'm excited for this game. It's going to be a fun game to watch. You know, I'm not discounting the Eagles. I've seen many Super Bowls, and the Patriots Super Bowls, they're always close. They're always fun to watch. So more than anything, I think it's going to be, a good time. But I just think it's going to be funny how for the next 2 weeks, AC's going to be talking about underdog this, underdog that.
No, I just said that, and you can't.
Both teams want to win because as we see, it's impossible, almost impossible to go back to the Super Bowl, the year after, and then it's really hard to rebound in the next few years.
I'm just saying, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm used to this. I never thought I'd hear this out of Mitch, almost like preparing to lose. What you said now was the first time I've ever heard you kind of backtrack on like we're gonna win and we're gonna be the legacy.
Patriots are gonna win, and you'll hear why in the coming weeks. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's impossible for the Eagles to win.
Something about their running backs and tight ends, probably, right?
Well, Gronk got
best
hurt.
for the bottom. Whatever, whoever we were cheering for.
And Gronk was supposed to be
it's going to be amazing?
Wait.
What's going to be amazing is when the guy that was cut by the Eagles, Dion Lewis, has like 3 touchdowns in this game. It's going to be amazing.
It's also going to be funny when
actually Mitch,
from the
sorry,
Patriots
Mitch,
to the Eagles.
He wasn't cut. Mitch, he wasn't cut. You should remember he got traded.
Okay, either way.
LaShawn McCoy.
Okay.
It'll be also funny if LeGarrette Blount wins from the Patriots and then goes to the Eagles.
Chris Long, who wanted to play
Chris Long could have came back to New England, but he said he wanted to play, so he couldn't go to New England.
And he wouldn't have played with all your injuries. He would have played all the time.
No, that's honestly what he said. I can look up the reports. I'm not going to do it now, but
Chris Long is not even getting paid to play on the Eagles right now.
Yeah,
he donated his every paycheck. That's how much
he said he did. He said he loved. You know why he didn't want? There's a couple of reasons. He said that it was very difficult to play for the Patriots, which it is. The second one was that he actually wanted to be a starter because he said that and I guess he didn't expect the Eagles to be as good as they were. I think that's a fair point.
No, for sure. But I just think something happened in that locker room, man. Something happened.
How the hell is Chris Long not up for Walter Payton Man of the Year? I don't understand that. I'm just putting that.
Okay, let's stop this recap for that. Okay, what the fuck? This award is stupid. Okay, last year, they give it to 2 of the 3 people. And Greg Olsen is standing up there like an idiot because he didn't win it. And there's 2, they give it to 2 of them. What the, just give it to all 3. If you're going to have it be a tie and there's 3 candidates, just give it to all 3 of them instead of just 2 of them. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Okay,
I remember that. That was so dumb.
I want Greg Olsen to win this year because that was bullshit last year. I know that the award isn't about winning it, okay? But still, is the only reason it was a tie last year? Is it the only reason it was a tie last year is because Eli Manning was one of the people that was up for it? I swear.
Probably.
I swear to God.
Probably. But, well, first of all, it should be going to J.J. Watt for what he did this year. But either way, if you're going to be nominated as a finalist, it should just go to everybody. I don't understand why this needs to be like a...
No, but my point is, if you're not going to name one winner, just name them all freaking winners. Like, seriously.
Name 2? I remember when that shit happened. Everybody's like, what the fuck?
That was stupid. Okay.
So we just took a rant there. Okay.
All right. What else do we got to talk about in this game? Jay Ajayi had a decent game overall, 18 carries, 73 yards. I think you would have taken that as an Eagles fan coming into this game against Minnesota's defense. LeGarrette Blount, we talked about his touchdown. Overall, Jerick McKinnon was a lot more effective than Latavius Murray, although neither were overly effective. He did have a lot of catches, 11 catches, 86 yards. Stephon Diggs had a pretty good game, 8 catches for 70. Adam Thielen was quiet. You kind of wonder, was that, part of the injury thing that we were talking about? This is a guy that barely practiced this week. So I don't know. Maybe we'll hear about a surgery or an injury after. But, he didn't really look like himself the last 2 games. For Philadelphia, Zach Ertz, you guys talked about him. 8 catches on 8 targets. Very impressive. Alshon Jeffrey, 5 catches, 5 targets, 2 touchdowns. Another, very good game for him. Torrey Smith, the best game he's had all year. I could argue in 2 or 3 years. Nelson Aguilar, 3 catches, 59 yards. And he also had 1 carry. That's pretty much it. Defensively, okay, we'll talk about the receivers. Any things that you guys want to talk about there, and then we'll get to some of the defensive playmakers. Then we'll go over to the Patriots game.
Jump to the Patriots game a little bit quicker because I got to go in about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I got to go pretty soon too.
In terms of the Vikings, McKinnon I thought played decent. He made a couple of plays, but Murray just did nothing. Like, there was nothing about him that made him exciting. I mean, obviously McKinnon had 11 catches, 86 yards. He looked good. Thielen, I think he just looked hurt. He didn't look like he was there. He had 9 targets, only caught 3 balls. Rudolph was non-effective. He caught that one great touchdown throw in the beginning, but then they just decided not to target him, and I don't really know why. In terms of the Eagles, I liked what I saw of Ertz. He did great. Jeffrey looking like the guy that they wanted. Obviously signed that contract for Aguilar. Obviously one of the most improved players this season, did well. Running game was decent for the Eagles. These are 2 of the best running defenses in the league coming into this game. So either team, what they were going to be able to do on the ground was going to be impressive. And the Eagles got over 100 yards, so I think it was good. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Just for me, I think the telltale signs is 4 receivers over 50 yards. Longest, Ertz 36, Aguilar 42, Smith 41, Jeffrey 53. That just tells you all you need to know really about how wide open the receivers were and how dominant they were on a secondary that I thought was actually better than the Jags.
Yeah, you did bring that up a couple times. I would say, yeah, I think the big plays, the receivers, obviously after that first drop on the big bomb where he probably could have caught it, it didn't look good. But, you know, you could say that hopefully we didn't peak this or we're still going up in the right direction. But the way Foles looked and these receivers catching and deep throws, because we saw that a lot, the big plays with Wentz and showing off his arm, Foles did the same thing, and there were big chunks of yardage where even last week it wasn't really about big chunks. It was like it was almost like something happened from that Atlanta game to this game. Foles looked good in that game, but it was all short stuff where it seemed like Foles felt comfortable to let it fly, obviously because they were open. But sometimes when there was coverage and he was slinging it, which was awesome. And I think the screen game was awesome too. We just I think our offense is very similar to the Patriots. Obviously we don't have Tom Brady, but the way we run screens probably more often than any other team, sometimes back to back, you know, sometimes two screenplays in 4 plays or something like that. And just move the ball.
I would say it's more like the Chiefs offense.
I know you would say that. But no, I'm going to make it more
right? No,
I'm saying for the way they run screens, I don't think the Chiefs run as many screens as the Eagles and the Pats.
I think they have done that more with Foles. I think that's more of a Foles thing.
Yeah, and what I will say is that people that say that Peterson is an Andy Reid, but Peterson never called plays till 2 years ago. This is the second year of a rebuild, and we're in the Super Bowl. And Peterson, the way he calls plays compared to last year, he just seems to have it. He seems to be getting there to understand what defenses are doing and what we can do to exploit you and how we can get it into our playmakers' hands. And, you know, Foles played great, but even this game and last game offensively, I'm giving a lot of the credit to Doug Peterson, because how he's calling games is picking apart some good defenses. And it's going to be interesting to see when we play a mediocre defense in 2 weeks.
And
I don't know about mediocre.
It's interesting too because with
Dylan getting on the Pat side now because he doesn't want you're going to be an Eagles hater this week, the next 2 weeks.
What do I got to gain if I'm an Eagles hater?
No, because you want the Pats. You're a Pats guy. No. You don't want man. You've always been kind of the sneaky.
See what AC's trying to do? He's trying to maneuver his way through. No. Yeah. Get under the skin there.
No, I'm not.
I don't feed on him already for getting this matchup with Mitch. I got no reason. Why do
I don't have a man? You try to pick.
No, just Dylan. Dylan, just let him go.
I'm just pointing out. I got no team.
He's one of those Eagles fans that were in the stands today. We want Brady, just like the Jaguars fans. It's okay.
I wasn't one of those fans.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say I think what's interesting is the 2 different styles that they kind of play. I mean, it was similar, but they were really had to be more patient against the Falcons, and they found the openings with.
Do we think the Falcons going to beat the Vikings?
No.
Okay, just asking.
Just too inconsistent.
Because the Falcons definitely put up a better fight against the Eagles.
That's true, but Didn't expect 30.
But when you have, I think when you have a playmaker like Julio Jones, and he was making a lot of big plays, it's tough, you know. And we don't have to go against a receiver that good. We might have to go against a tight end that good, but not a receiver again that's as good as Julio Jones or an elite level receiver. I think that's tough to cover.
I do think that the Eagles provide a variety of different offensive schemes that interest me. I will say that.
For sure. Doug Peterson has done a great job.
And I think that defense and that pressure overall, I think that's also good. Those are the two things that I think if I'm an Eagles fan, and I'm not, but if I'm an Eagles fan, those are the two things that excite me about 2 weeks from now.
All right. Last thing I want to bring up about this game. Do we think that the field conditions played any part in it at all?
No.
No, we did talk about this in the pregame.
No, we did, but we didn't see anyone slipping. I think the only thing is maybe
because the Vikings are a dome team. They're used to
I know.
Conditions, and I think people underplayed that. To be honest,
I just feel like when you put a beat down that bad, it
has nothing to do with field position. I think the Vikings going forward, I think need the retractable roof and play in cold weather.
Yeah,
I don't get it, man. Why is the Minnesota Vikings playing in?
Well, I don't get that either. So they would play in the fucking snow for 2 years.
It would probably,
it
probably would have been snowing in Minnesota right now, right?
Yeah. Like they played at the college stadium. I don't understand why they just we'll just go inside.
All right, let's get to the Patriots-Jaguars game. Again, just going over Philadelphia 38-7. They advanced to the Super Bowl, and they will be playing the New England Patriots. The Patriots advance once again to the Super Bowl. It's the 8th appearance for Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft in the Patriots organization in this last run.
It's more than the 8th appearance for Robert Kraft.
No, it's 9th.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, 9th. So 9th for Robert Kraft, 8th for Brady and Belichick, and 10th overall, which is the most by any NFL team by 2 now. So Patriots, Pats Nation, 24-20. The Patriots take this game over the Jaguars. This was a very entertaining game, far more entertaining than the NFC Championship game, which I think was the delight to many fans around the world that we at least got one good game this today. As for the leaders of the game, Blake Bortles for the Jaguars, 23 for 36, 293, a touchdown, and a 98 passer rating, while Tom Brady, 26 for 38, 290, 2 touchdowns, 108 passer rating, and Danny Amendola, 1 for 1, 20 yards, 118 passer rating. And on the ground,
you really had to throw the rating in there. Did you really?
Yeah. I'm just reading the stats. Rushing for the Jacksonville Jaguars, 24 carries, 76 yards, and a touchdown for Fournette, which is a 3.2 yards per carry. Yeldon, 5 carries, 25 yards, 5 yards a carry. And then for the Patriots, not much. 9 carries, 34 yards, 3.8 yards per carry for Lewis. And then Burkhead, White had a combined 4 carries. White did have a touchdown. And Amendola also had a run. So those were the runners and receivers. Allen Hurns, 6 catches, 80 yards on 7 targets. Grant, 3 catches, 59 yards on 3 screen passes. Marquise Lee, 4 catches, 41 yards on 8 targets. Keenan Cole, 2 catches, 37 yards. Westbrook, 21 for 29. Bohannon, 1 for 20. Fournette, 2 for 13. Yeldon, 2 for 6. Holy shit. Mercedes Lewis, 1 for 4. James O'Shaughnessy, 1 for 4. Holy crap, that's a lot of receivers. For the Patriots, Brandon Cooks, 6 for 100 on 8 targets. Danny Amendola, 7 for 84 for 2 touchdowns. Playoff Danny Amendola. Dion Lewis, 7 catches, 32 yards on 8 targets. Philip Dorsett, 1 catch, 31 yards. Really nice catch. James White, 3 catches, 22 yards. Gronkowski, 1 for 21, was taken out in the second quarter. And Chris Hogan, 2 for 20. So, guys, what did we think of the offensive playmakers? Any guys that you want to highlight, bring up the performances, the quarterbacks, the runners, the receivers?
First of all, shout out to Blake Bortles. He played a phenomenal game. Like, I will give him as much credit here as I will say here. He did a great job today.
in the first half.
And in the first half, I would say even up to 3 quarters.
That's why I'm saying, like, the way it ended, Bortles was trash. I'm sorry. Like, the way it ended, he could not do anything in the second half. Like, he did not play a good game. He gave them the lead, but I don't think you could say he played a good game because that second half, he was so bad and had so many chances. It's not a good game when you do that. When you have your ball in your hands and you can't move it when you need to, he was trash.
Interesting. I've been saying that all year, and then I get attacked for that. Okay.
So I think all of a sudden Blake Bortles is trash, huh?
Like
he was great in the first.
He was great for the first half.
100%
quarters, I would say. 12%. Okay. This is great in terms of Blake Bortles. This isn't great in terms of like Tom Brady. Okay, let's go over this real quick. The first 2 drives, he completed probably 1 or 2 passes that were actually down the field. Like the Jaguars and Hackett, and they did a phenomenal job of game planning with screens, really creative play calls. Like phenomenal job. Like this was I was like, wow. Like I knew Hackett was good, but like that was very impressive to start the game. The way that they put Blake Bortles in good positions to throw and allowed him to get comfortable. And then once he gained that confidence, he did make a couple of throws of his own. That one down the right sideline, I forgot who the receiver was, but I think it was Westbrook.
Yeah.
It was an equally phenomenal catch.
It was Cole.
Keeping both of his feet in bounds. There was another one, I think, as well. But, Bortles made a few plays in the first half, and he got them the lead, and the Jaguars looked good offensively to that point. And really, this was without a very consistent run game. They would get some runs here and there, and Fournette, I would say, was really good. Despite, only running for 3 whatever yards per carry, this guy was running hard. And he had a good game despite there being all these guys to beat and to get after him. And the trenches were a war in this game as expected in a playoff game. And I just thought, Blake Bortles, as AC said, he played like trash in the second half. I'd say he was good for his standards till the fourth quarter. And then you kind of saw the guy that couldn't make the throws in the fourth quarter. And that ultimately was why they couldn't take the game.
Because when it was 20-10, they got the strip of Dion Lewis with 12 minutes to go.
Which was huge because they were
huge.
Yeah, the Patriots were going to be on like the 30-yard line or something, 25-yard line.
I'm like, this is the play. If Blake Bortles scores this touchdown, even with Tom Brady, I'm really scared about that. It was 17 points. So I'm like, this has got to be the moment. They went 3 and out, which was crucial. Patriots got a 3rd and 18, completed Amendola. That was huge.
That was a
set cat,
massive play.
It was just
biggest play of the game, probably.
The Patriots' execution is what got it done. Like the Jaguars were able to keep it going until about the fourth quarter and started to get choppy. Once that 3 and out happened, I'm like, you're giving too much time to the best quarterback of all time. And again, everybody's going to complain, the Patriots and the referees. Shut the fuck.
Okay, was there one call that was questionable in this game? Like, seriously.
No, this is what I heard.
This is me saying, Dylan, there were questionable calls in, maybe the Titans game. There was probably one questionable call, that offensive pass interference. In this game, there was not one questionable call.
No, because everybody was like, "Oh, okay, that was that off." It was the. I'm just telling you what people were saying. Yeah. When the pass interference call in the second quarter when it was on the sidelines,
he freaking threw the guy out of bounds.
I know, and they're like, "Oh, there should have been a flag. They're paying the referees." And then like when James White scored the touchdown, the referee was laughing at them. They're like, "Oh yeah, totally." Yeah, it's just
like that's also part of the thing about being the Jaguars defense. You're very aggressive, you're physical, you're trying to get in the head of these players, you're trying to beat them up, especially being the Patriots. And the Patriots just take advantage of those mistakes.
Well, and Brady knew that was going to be the case. He threw some of these passes were like they're 50-50 balls, but that once they're going to throw them up,
especially when Gronk went out, he started throwing those.
And Barry Church
and Hogan.
Former Cowboys player.
That was
a terrible fucking hit.
And Fowler said that was a good hit. It shouldn't have been a penalty. He said that.
Okay. What a joke!
I can't believe Mitch thought it wasn't a concussion. You can still walk. You know you can still walk when you have a concussion, right? That was your excuse. You said
I've had a concussion.
He was walking, but that's why he said he'll be back. He was walking when there was evidence that he had a concussion. You said he'll be back. He was walking.
You never know. I've seen players come back in the game when they were like that.
No, man, that was easy concussion call all the way through.
Okay. Are we gonna argue about what we called for a concussion?
Whose side are you on, Dylan? You're playing the Mitch card again, dude.
What has
he got on you?
Well, Kev's on your side.
Dylan must be the only one getting paid for this show. That's why.
I guess I get 37,000 views on videos.
Kevo gets the laughs.
Oh yeah.
Kevo gets it.
No, I pull up my clip of.
I wasn't sure. Okay, AC. Honestly, I wasn't sure because I know like Gronk's a big dude. It takes a lot to fucking rattle this guy. So I thought that he was rattled, and then he would be back. He would be fine after halftime.
Didn't Earl Thomas blow this guy out for a season?
No, that was the Jets.
No, the Earl Thomas blew him out last year.
Oh well, he played in the Jets game. But okay.
When he played the Seahawks.
Yeah, he came back 2 games after, didn't he?
When the Seahawks won in New England. Earl Thomas obliterated Gronk.
Okay.
No, he obliterated Gronk. You can
deny the game after. He played the game after, Kev.
Yeah, but he was done after that, though. He obliterated Gronk, and you know he did.
Straight up, it was a great hit. It was a great. That was a clean hit. This hit was not clean. No, it was right to the head.
All you have to do is when you're trying to hit a guy, I don't know, tackle him. He didn't even wrap his arms. He's just like right to him.
Which Richard Sherman tweets, "Oh, what could he do there?" Well, it's still a rule that you can't hit him in the head, so you're gonna get a penalty. Like
in that situation, you didn't have to. He's like, "Oh, you don't need to attack the legs because that's what the referees are gonna call."
If you're gonna take that stance, if you hit him in the head, then you're going to get a penalty. It's just that's the way it goes.
Just tackle him. Yeah. He didn't even wrap his arms. If he physically tried to wrap his arms around him and hit him head to head, I would at least make it a little bit more sense. But he just straight pushed his body into a rotation where his helmet was going to be the only contact on Gronkowski. Okay? Anyways, let me get back into people that I thought were really good in this game. Brady.
I like how off we got there. Go ahead.
Brady, first half. There was a couple plays where I'm like, they're getting pressure on Brady. It looked like he was still making some really good throws, but it looked like he was off. It just looked like he wasn't able to make the same kind of throws usually. But then second half, Brady turned it on, made some really good throws down the field. Amendola was clutch. I guess he got the clutch gene from Edelman. He was clutch here today. When you're a team and you don't have your tight end, your great almighty tight end and everything, you have to have some other guys step up, and they did. Brandon Cooks dropped a really bad pass in the third quarter, but then was able to rebound.
Is that the third? Yeah.
6 catches, 100 yards.
Right.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think it was the third quarter.
It might have been. I don't remember.
It was a wide open pass. Like he
definitely should have caught it. If he caught that, man, that would have been at least the 20, but he was probably running another 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a huge play that he dropped, and he made up for it.
But give him credit. Yeah, he totally made up for it. Amendola did great, like I said. Dorsett made a huge catch. His only catch of the game, his only contribution to this game was very good. Just people needed to step up, and they did. Fournette, he did a really good. I mean, 3.2. Coach wouldn't accept that. You need 0.1 more. But Coach,
like that was an impressive 3.2.
He was running. Like what I saw was he was going in because that Patriots D line was pretty much knowing what they were going to do. Like they were just going to run straight up the middle. It was a really good performance, all things considered. From there, Kev, I'm going to ask you this question: did the Jacksonville receivers' lack of experience hurt them in this game?
No, they made great catches.
No, this game was lost because. Actually, I would argue that it was probably the Jags secondary that has to take some responsibility for this. Jalen Ramsey took a really bad PI penalty.
He got burnt.
Late in fourth, yeah, but he took it. It was a bad PI penalty.
It was.
Cooks was coming back.
Burnt. It was a touchdown.
Yeah, so that's a 30-yard penalty. That hurts.
And I saw people on Twitter. Okay, Calvin. I've done videos, Calvin. Bro. If they start making a pass interference 15 yards every time, defenders are just going to start fucking tackling them in the middle of the field.
It's like college. It's like
yeah, but like the NFL, I don't know. I don't agree with that because I could just start seeing it go the other way. Like people say that, oh, it's a bomb. You know, it's a bomb and it's a prayer. But like if you go the other way and you talk about, okay, it's only 15 yards. What if a guy is burnt and it's a 50-yard touchdown and the guy just, I don't know, takes his legs out? Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, but ultimately, I felt the weakness of this Jags team was the secondary in the sense that you saw Amendola wide open on the touchdown. You saw Cooks, Ramsey take that penalty. I do think that the receivers, even you look at that Gilmore knockdown, yeah, that wasn't a great throw by Bortles, but I think that had a lot to do with the experience of the receivers in a lot of ways.
That was just a great play by Gilmore.
No, you got to come back to the ball.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it in slow motion, like he would have slapped that way even if the ball was.
Where was the throw was going down the field though?
No, but look, he was up. I know, but I'm saying he's looking, he's turning. Gilmore's got inside. It obviously was under throw because Gilmore didn't have to move. If you look at it, he was in the air. His arm wasn't fully extended. It was a knockdown like right here. It's not like he was like fully extended to knock it down. Like that's what I'm saying. It could have been a better throw. Receiver in that situation, 4th down, you got to play a jump ball. You got to come back to the ball, especially when the receiver
Bortles should have made a better throw on that.
He should have let him more.
If you had the arm power to do it, that's also the play that they signed Gilmore. That is the reason they
Gilmore
signed.
played a very good game today. There was maybe one pass where that was really hard to defend. It was like a back shoulder throw, which is the hardest play to defend in football. And other than that, man, he was really good. Really good.
But to me, I do think that the two weaknesses of the Jags were the offense, and I just didn't. I think
the offense and the defense.
But I think the inexperience of being in this moment.
I disagree.
Was what hurt the Jags.
I thought the Jags. This was one of the best games I've seen the Jags play.
Watching
almost all of their games.
The Patriots started to dominate. You saw the fourth quarter, they had a possession at the 10, the 9, and the 5. The Jags did. You just saw the Patriots experience start.
Possession, because they're not going to get any yards anymore.
The Patriots at the first couple of drives did struggle a little without Gronk there, and then they started to get their feet.
The Jags struggled the last 12 minutes. That's just how it was. They weren't able to capitalize.
Play action doesn't work when they're just running at your quarterback regardless. And that's the only way they were successful is off play action pass. That wasn't happening anymore because you can't play action pass when you need to get big play yards.
Oh, yeah.
And they were just stopping them. I'm saying this, my biggest takeaway of this game, and won this game for them. Their New England offensive line was unbelievable.
In the second half.
Tom Brady was also unbelievable.
No, I know, but he had the time. But I'm saying, I want to give the
offensive line was very good.
Because it's the hardest position. Like everybody there's no credit given to them.
No, especially
exactly. And they deserve it.
I agree with you. Especially when you're down points, when you're having to come back, it's even more difficult to play offensive line because they know you're rushing. They know you're passing the ball. So those guys, the best D-line in football, arguably, with the second most sacks in the league, they're coming after the quarterback. So, yeah, definitely the offensive line was very good. But, I mean, we haven't even talked about Tom Brady yet. I thought some of those throws were freaking phenomenal. Like the one across the middle on 3rd and 18. The Amendola was sweet. There were just so many passes where he just put right on the money.
Mitch, you're talking about. I gotta make sure I get you some lotion while you're talking about Tom Brady. Just one sec.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
Because he's the greatest. He's the greatest quarterback of all time. The dude again proved it. I mean, again, when you needed him to come through, he comes through. There's all this talk about his hand, and I don't think that had much to do with this game. I thought he looked like Tom Brady. He played against the best pass defense in the league, and he came through again without his top target and without Gronk, without Edelman. This was an amazing performance. You got to give credit to him, the offensive line, and the receivers. Freaking, I've said it. You guys laughed at me before the season. Playoff Amendola does it again. I know, and that was something where before the year and when we were talking about this guy earlier, it's just like I always said, because if you're a Patriots fan, you would know. But I think he's actually come to the level now where in these big games, now casual fans and now people that of other teams know that Danny Amendola is going to make that play in that spot. And he definitely did. And this guy's winning. I mean, you look at his girlfriend. He had a great game. Dude, he's winning. And then
this guy's sick. He has a hot girlfriend. His life is sick. All he does is catch touchdowns. The guy's the sickest. Great, man. I wish I was awesome. Danny Amendola. I wish it. Oh, shut.
I don't know what is wrong with Adam. We can't recap a Patriots game. We have to keep talking about the Eagles.
I didn't talk about the Eagles, man. I'm just I'm just talking about this guy's hot fucking girlfriend, bro.
You were talking about him in the chat.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I got to do another interview.
All right, see Kev. Have a good day.
Quick things.
Yeah.
The Jags will be back. I'm warning you, they're the #1 contender for the AFC Championship once they get a quarterback. And my big takeaway for the Patriots is I do not assume that they're going to win the Super Bowl. I think this. I don't think
you should assume any team's going to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I think this is going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, it should be.
And I'm looking forward to you and AC arguing about it for 2 weeks.
I just don't get AC's stance right now. He's just trying to make fun of everything I say. I can't say anything positive about the Patriots. It's just it's kind of weird.
And I do want to ask.
They just won the AFC Championship. I'm not allowed to say anything good. I have to say how they played poorly or something.
You're not allowed to say anything. You know what? I'm going to leave. I got to go anyways. I'll let you and Dylan talk about how great the Patriots are and how they're going to win it all. And Tom Brady's legacy. No, I got to go anyways. But hey, everyone enjoy, because if you want to hear the most positive take, two guys talk about how the Patriots are the best. Stay tuned.
When I continue to make money and my team's not in the playoffs, I don't care. I'm still watching good football.
Whoa, got that view.
Bill Belichick.
I love it.
Well, here are your thoughts. Bill Belichick, is he the greatest coach in sports history, not just NFL history?
Yes.
And
because he's the best. I'll put it this way. He's the best coach in NFL history. Therefore, he's the best coach in sports history, because no sport is more dictated by their coach than football. So,
and I want to know from you guys, we're going to have to do more of a discussion on this. Why do people hate Tom Brady? We'll talk to you later.
Because he's great. People hate greatness. See you, Kev. All right, AC, you going to? Any final words?
I just won't talk.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, we talked about Brady. He was great. Amendola was great. Dylan mentioned Brandon Cooks. Man, this guy, if you're a Patriots fan out there and you're a part of, if you know the Patriots media, man, this guy's been scrutinized all year. Really. And this is a guy that's 3,000 yard seasons in his first 4 years or something. Mm-hmm. And this is a guy that's been scrutinized by the Patriots media for not coming through, not having the connection with Brady. And he had one of his best games today. Continuously came through when they needed him. He was playing against one of the top 5 corners in the league in AJ Bouye, had a really good game, made him look silly at times. And yeah, that drop was terrible, and we would be blaming that drop. But we also have to look that this was a very good performance from him. Other than that, I thought, again, Chris Hogan, he made one key catch. Other than that, was a non-factor. Obviously, having Gronk out for a large majority of this game sucked, and I was very nervous at that point, because I've said it before, I'll say it again. Without Gronk on this team, it's very difficult for this offense to be all it can be, especially without Edelman too. So the way that they were able to move the ball down the field when they needed to without Gronk was awesome to see as a Patriots fan. And that gives you a little bit more confidence. And then, yeah, you mentioned all the other players that made some plays. For the Jags, I brought up how Leonard Fournette played. I thought that was an impressive 3 yards a carry. Like, he was running hard. That one touchdown was impressive. He's a freak. He's going to be really good. Once they get a quarterback that's a good passer, and you have to respect his ball more than the Blake Bortles. I think he's going to be a top back in this league. And yeah, they did miss a go-to receiver. I think they missed a go-to receiver. But I think you have to give credit to a couple of these receivers for making big catches. Like, there were some phenomenal catches today by the Jags receivers. Yeah, they missed maybe a top tier guy like Allen Robinson, but they still made plays. Defensively, first going to the Jags, I thought their linebackers played great. Talvin Smith was very good. Miles Jack was very good. Was it Miles Jack who had the strip, or was it Talvin Smith?
It was Miles Jack.
Okay. Yeah. So that was an amazing play. Their speed is overwhelming. You don't notice it until your team plays them. Truly. They're very fast defense. They showed it today.
Miles Jack was horrible in coverage. Very bad in coverage.
I don't think
Tom
so.
Brady
I think that
was moving him with his eyes every single play and then just throwing like anywhere he wanted when Miles Jack was around.
Miles Jack would be considered one of the best cover backers in the league. So it's funny you say that. But I think
I'm saying, like, Tony Romo picked it out maybe 3 times.
And I think this is the reason.
And on all the big plays. Yeah, no, I'm just finishing.
Yeah, I think the reason was because McDaniels did an amazing job of scheming ways for receivers to be matched up on a linebacker. Every time Miles Jack got caught a ball on, it was because there was a receiver who was too quick or fast for him. A linebacker in the NFL can't cover a receiver. So I just thought that McDaniels did a number of great things with Amendola. Dorsett, I think, was one of the catches. Brandon Cooks on that deep ball. That was Miles Jack as well. They schemed a number of different ways because of the way that the Jags play defense. They were able to kind of work that into their game plan, which I thought was the reason why Miles Jack looked a little weak. I didn't think it was him. I think it was the way that, they were caught in their defense more than anything.
No, I get that. But also was him because he has to readjust, and they did it a couple times to him. He has to readjust, and he has to be better. Because obviously you can scheme against someone, but that guy also has the opportunity to scheme, to notice what's scheming against him, and then change the way he plays throughout a game, right? Because if you don't change, you're going to just keep on getting destroyed the same way.
Sure, but if you're asked to play the same defense, I don't know if you really can change.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think scheme's great, but I think it's fair to say that he wasn't great on some big plays down the middle when he wasn't covering anyone. He was just floating. He literally wasn't covering anyone. And the guy that he probably should have been floating towards, he wasn't. Because a lot of those plays, like, there was no one in front of him. There was no running backs. He was just watching Tom Brady's, and guys are running behind him. It's like, what are you doing? That's all. But yeah, good scheme. I just think that O-line was unbelievable. And I think a big reason why they won today was that O-line.
I thought Dante Fowler, despite his comments, he was probably the guy that got the most pressure in this game, which was probably the last guy anyone thought would get the most pressure in this game. The interior, especially the offensive line, did a great job for the Patriots, which a lot of people thought, we didn't even hear Malik Jackson's name in this game, I don't think. Ngakwe, he didn't even get a tackle. I thought for the corners, I thought AJ Bouye had a weak game. I don't know if that was because of his matchup with Brandon Cooks or that was just the game. But then they ended up switching Jalen Ramsey on him when Gronk went out. They did try that a couple of times, putting Ramsey on Gronk. It worked once. I don't really remember it happening a couple more times. Darius was okay, I thought. And yeah, that's pretty much it. For the Patriots defense, Kyle Van Noy, I thought, had a pretty good game. He had a sack. 9 tackles, pass deflection, tackle for loss. He had a good game. He's been a big part of this defense. I thought Trey Flowers was by far the best player on their defense today. 4 quarterback hits, pass deflection, tackle for loss. That was a big pass deflection on 3rd down, 9 tackles. Pat Chung played a good game. Their corners, for the most part, played pretty well. Butler kind of got lost a couple times in the crossing routes, which I think they need to take a look at before the Super Bowl, is, how to slow down those, because whenever they play man, they always have some sort of a weak point when crossing routes obviously beat man, but like, it seems to be happening too frequently when they play teams that do those type of plays. The Jags are a very good team at that. I've seen them do it all year. And I think the Patriots adjusted to it and that they were able to get the win, but that was a little bit of a weak point. He came up with some plays on 3rd down, but he also got beat a couple times. I thought Gilmore was their best corner for sure. Eric Rowe made some plays. James Harrison made some plays. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of Deron Harmon in this game because there was not a lot of 3 safety sets. And for the negatives for the Patriots, I thought that, obviously the first half was a little weak in terms of getting the offense going. I thought they settled too much for trying to run the ball and trying to be too balanced. I thought they should have tried to pass the ball far more, which we saw in the second half worked to their advantage. I just didn't like the way they kind of came out in the game, other than that first drive, obviously, which I thought they did spread out a majority of the drive, and then they just kind of went away with it for some reason. Defensively, I brought up the crossing routes. I was frustrated with how the Jags were converting on third down, like by 1 yard, like every time. It was like 3rd and 5, they get 6 yards. 3rd and 6, they get 7 yards. So that was frustrating. And I thought that Hackett did an amazing job, as I mentioned, of scheming up these plays to get them those 7-8 yards. But when they were in like 3rd and 10, the Patriots were able to make the stops, especially later in the game. It wasn't all good for the Patriots. They were obviously in a hole, and the defensive line didn't get pressure for the first half, but then broke through in the second half. They got 3 sacks, a lot of hits. So I don't know. It was an up and down game, but ultimately they came up with the victory, and that's what champions do. Dylan, any positive negatives that you missed? You didn't talk about the defense. Anything you want to talk about?
I talked about most of the positives for the Patriots. In terms of negatives, I didn't like the sluggish start. Obviously, you can't really do that in the Super Bowl. I think that they're going to have to scheme up some kind of plays going forward in terms of what they're going to do with Foles. I know he played a really great game and all. That's going to be the key going forward. Are they going to be able to start the run?
It's going to be a really interesting game because they've played these 2 quarterbacks these last 2 weeks that aren't the greatest passers, but they're mobile. And it's going to be interesting to see how they change to a pocket passer.
Yeah. It's a different setup because you've been playing, it's like AFC South QB kind of style.
Yeah.
How you're going.
Yeah. They're having to worry about the zone read and the play action boot. And now they have to worry about, okay, just drop back pass game. And he's a better thrower. So we got to be aware of that.
Yeah. I think it should be interesting going forward. What's another negative? I think I don't know about Gronk's health. I think it's 2 weeks, so he should be back, but you never know. And that's always, and even if he is healthy, it's always a concern going forward about Gronk's health and all that stuff. Defensively, I think they need to put the pressure on Foles when it gets down to it. I think they did well at some points when they got a couple of key sacks. Other times it was just you're relying on the corner help. For the Jaguars, I think they played 3 quarters of really good football. The passing by Bortles was obviously better than I expected. Started out 13 for 15. And he looked efficient. And then it just came down to he wasn't able to make the last pass. Like he just wasn't able to convert here or get these really good runs. Leonard Fournette, as much as we credit him for running hard, the Patriots defense really stopped him. Like they were not going to let big runs happen. I think his longest rush was 14 yards. So they were really concentrating on getting that stopped. And I think that is a huge advantage for them going forward. Yeah, I think the Jaguars.
I do want to mention, Coach said that blitzing was a big thing in the second half. They did blitz a lot more. It was a lot more effective in getting after Bortles. It forced them into some bad throws. I want to see them do that in the Super Bowl as well. I want to see them blitz more, test Foles early in the game because we know, he had confidence, and once he gets confidence, he's a better player, obviously, like anybody. But I think he's still he can make those poor throws, and he was a backup for a reason. So I want to see them blitz a little bit more, be a little bit more aggressive. And I thought they were too conservative at the beginning of the game.
Would you say that the Jaguar or the Eagles have a lot stronger offensive line than the Jaguars?
Yeah, but still, if you send 6 guys, they can't block it.
Well, they can. People have been blitzing them before, and they've figured out ways to block it. I'm just saying that obviously, I think the Eagles.
I don't think it's a lot stronger. I actually think the Jags' offensive line is good. It's pretty good, and it proved that against the Steelers.
Yeah,
I think you said the confidence factor. I think that's key because once Foles was getting that confidence, he's like, all right, We got.
Yeah, like I'm just throwing that out there as a Patriots fan. If it works or doesn't work, we'll live with it. But I just think they need to be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Early in the game, because I thought they allowed Blake Bortles to get into the game, and I didn't like that. So
they were very lax at some points.
Yeah.
But I think it was obviously in a very enjoyable game. I think it had a lot of interest. Blake Bortles surprised me in terms of his gameplay going forward. I think the Patriots obviously need to game plan very well for a different style of QB. I think they can block Jay Ajayi. Like, I think they can stop him pretty decently. It should be an interesting game. So I like what the Patriots, from what I saw for the most part. Some skepticism, but obviously that's what happens when you're playing a different team in the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah, I'll say that it's weird because I think like Yeldon got outside on that one run, and when Harrison lost containment, which I thought they would try to go with that a bit more when he got down to the 6-yard line, I believe. Or there was one run that was like a 12, maybe 10-yard
gain. Yeah, there was a couple times
where they got outside where Harrison was playing and lost containment on the outside. Obviously,
but there was also times where they lost yards on that. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I just feel like I can't talk negatively without you.
No, I mean there were
it's just like
I'm saying there were plays. This is what I'm saying. There were plays when they got outside and made plays, but then they also tried it later and it didn't work. So it's a give and take.
Yeah. I'm just saying, yeah. I think I'd have to look back. I don't think they tried it as much as you'd think, especially with Yeldon, because we know Fournette doesn't have the speed when he's on. It's hard for him to get outside, which is going to be interesting, which is hard for the Eagles running backs to get outside too. But I do think that, I don't think the Eagles have those players, but I think it would benefit, like Yeldon, I thought should have got a little more touches in the run game. I know that's not what he does, but I think he should.
I thought Grant
on the outside.
I thought Grant should have got one or two more touches, personally, because he is a guy that can run to the edge. And he looked good in the screen game. Yeldon isn't really a runner. Like, he's a good receiver, and he made a couple plays. But like Grant, I thought should have maybe got a couple more touches. Fournette is a beast, though. This guy, freaking freak. I can't wait to watch him next year. He might be one of my favorite running backs to watch now.
So here's a good question: who's the better team, the Eagles or the Jaguars? It's going in the chat right now.
It's close. I
don't think it's very close. I don't think it's very
neutral field. I think it's pretty close. I would still say the Eagles, but I think it's pretty close.
I think that would be a good game, honestly. I think it would be. I think it would be interesting if we would. Like, I wouldn't have wanted that more than this matchup, but I don't know. That's difficult, actually.
Well, one team's in the Super Bowl, one team's not. So it's not that difficult.
It's not difficult to say that the Jags and Eagles match up well?
I just think I wasn't scared of the Jaguars, and obviously we saw it today. There's ways to beat them.
Obviously, Bortles is not going to be a QB like, I'm troubling in my boots or anything, but... Yeah. I think
it would be a close game.
It's going to be a big difference for, I guess, their defense to go from Jacksonville's. I know everyone still, says Foles can be, which he is. He is a backup quarterback, but I do think the Patriots' defense is going to have a huge change. They haven't really played an offense where you have a lot of weapons all playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be the biggest thing. I don't think the
Eagles have played an offense like New England, though. Not even close.
No. Yeah, 100%. I'll agree with that. But why couldn't you just say that? Couldn't you agree without making a counter
I did agree, but I'm just pointing that out. Like, if you can have an advantage, we can as well.
No, I'm just pointing it out. It's not an advantage, Mitch. Man, not everything's a competition, man. We're just talking sports. It's it's hard.
We're breaking down the game.
No, but obviously you're breaking down the game. But just to say he needs to get more pressure on someone's not really breaking down the game. How are you gonna get pressure?
I'm saying blitzing, not pressure. Pressure is different from blitzing. What type of blitz
packages do you think? What's your formation?
I don't know. I'm just asking for more blitzes.
I got two receivers outright. I got a trips with a tight end outright. I got a single back. What do you bring in? What do we got?
I don't know. I'd have to watch the Eagles play again. and see where their weaknesses lie. But I'm just saying, with a quarterback like Nick Foles, I think you should blitz him. Is that not fair to say?
No, it's fair to say. Like
Okay.
It is fair to say, man.
All right.
Like it. Okay, just remember everyone who gets more defensive than.
No, I just want
to say everyone knows it. Who gets more defensive?
Dylan, did you not think that
Dylan's going to side with you every single time?
I think everyone should.
What do I gain from siding with him? What do I gain out of that?
You side with him more often than you don't. Especially when it comes to the Patriots. Especially
because I know the Patriots pretty well.
I know, but I'm saying Dylan sides with the Patriots a lot more than the world does.
Yeah, because the world hates the Patriots. Like,
but I'm just saying, but Dylan easily could be one of those people, but he decides to
he's also a Cowboys fan, so he knows it. He knows what it's like.
Okay, that's why he roots for the Patriots. Okay,
I don't root for the Patriots.
He rooted for the Broncos when they played the Patriots. He rooted like last week for the Titans.
So he rooted for the Broncos in 2015.
Guy. Okay, I don't know. I'm not going to agree with what I said.
He was a Peyton Manning guy.
So he's the front runner of the AFC guy. Okay, gotcha.
I'm not going to defend myself from what I said a couple years ago, but I did say when Gronk got hurt and tore his ACL that I felt bad for him, but I didn't feel bad for the Patriots franchise. That's how much of a non-Patriots. It was a dick move. It was a total dick move. But I'm not a Patriots fan.
But that was then. Seems like you've come on board since they won the Super Bowl.
Okay, I think I'll say it this way. The biggest positive for the Patriots is watching how good the Patriots offense played without Gronk in the second half. The biggest negative is watching the first quarter or so of the defense being too lackadaisical and getting outplayed in the first quarter and first two quarters for the most part. So those were the biggest ups and downs. And I thought the Patriots, like they always do, they make the adjustments and they figure it out. And that is why they've won 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years.
Okay, give me one player. Just let's play a game. Give me one player on the Patriots that played a bad game all 4 quarters.
I don't think there was one. Maybe
I'd say Malcolm Butler, but
I was gonna say Butler probably played the worst game. But I mean, you gonna play a bad game for 60
Did he play bad though? He made a couple plays on third down. Tipped the ball down.
I think he was getting beat a lot, but it's fine. No, if there was no bad players that played a bad game,
I actually thought Dion Lewis played a bad game today.
Yeah.
So maybe I'd say Dion Lewis.
Yeah.
Which is rare because he doesn't usually play bad games.
Yeah, okay. I'm just wondering if you thought someone played a bad game.
Do you think an Eagles player played bad today?
Yes, I do. I actually I thought Darby wasn't good. I don't think Darby was very good. He made some plays, but I don't think he was very good beginning to end. There was a lot of stuff he didn't do well. Who else? I would say, well, there's my one guy. At least I can say one guy confidently that had a bad game beginning to end. Oh, and I'll obviously say good because he was the back. He wasn't even supposed to play inside linebacker. And I did think our tackling was quite poor in the first half.
I just thought, I think we discussed it all pretty much. I pretty much brought up the concerns, the positives. Let's get to some comments. Ask people, if you guys have any questions, bring them. If you asked them earlier, we didn't get to them, ask them now.
Yeah, because there's a lot.
Can't read it, so
there's going to be a lot of comments that we have. So get ready for it. Fact or fiction? Cardinals hired Jim Schwartz, says Rob.
No.
Maybe, but I think he's not even up for the interview though. Has he even interviewed with anyone?
No. He interviewed for the Giants.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they gave that away, so he'll be back next year. I think a third year would help him out, and
I think he should
what happens with Wentz.
If you're given a coach,
I think it's
I don't know if you're given like Pat Shermer and
bit though. Yeah, I know, but like it's just like these teams don't like to wait. Like that's the thing. Jim Schwartz would have a job then if those two guys in New England already have something booked. He'd have something booked, so he's obviously staying for next year. He's not going anywhere.
Unless something crazy happens. Yeah, that's probably true. But I'll just say that I think he should be a coach right now.
No, I believe he should be a head coach as well. But there's nothing available that he would take. I don't think he would take the Cardinals gig.
Especially if they win, he's definitely not leaving. So, Factor Fiction Jeremy says Brady's last game, the Super Bowl. What do you think?
No.
He keeps it even if he wins. Keeps it.
No.
He's just that like I always like question him.
They wouldn't have traded Garoppolo.
No, I understand that, but it's just like mentally,
that's the whole reason. If Brady goes, I'd be pretty shocked. I would think that Brady and Belichick would both have to retire if they win, and especially like if they win, because I don't think he'll retire if they lose.
Oh yeah, he'll definitely. I don't think he will.
Yeah, so I think it would have to be
New England. If New England had McDaniels, Patricia, Belichick, and Brady go, they're fucked for next year.
Well, it would make sense though, because new regime and everything, right? So you'd be starting from scratch, new quarterback, new coach, new offense coordinator. It would make sense. It just would. Yeah.
And that's why I always question. I'm like, what in Brady's mind? If he has 6 rings, what else does he have to accomplish? He just loves football. That's the only reason I could see it.
Well, and if they do have changes, next year as well, it's like, okay, if they're kind of a mediocre team, still make the playoffs, losing the playoffs, how many more years does Brady want to start that build up again?
I think they're built to win next year too. That's the thing. I think that he's going to stay at least next year.
The offensive coordinator, and who's the defense coordinator?
Brian Flores probably going to be the defensive coordinator, who's getting head coaching jobs right now for Arizona. If he doesn't leave to Arizona, he'll probably be the defense coordinator. And Chad O'Shea, who's the receiver coach, will probably be the offensive coordinator.
Well, and I'm saying that I wouldn't worry about the defense because you have Belichick, which is a defensive-minded coach. So regardless of who you put at defense, that's fine. I just think offensively, that's the only issue. But also
the thing about offense, which I think they're probably going to do, is they're probably going to get like Chad to be the coach. But Brady knows this offense in and out, where he doesn't really need an offensive coordinator like McDaniels. I mean, he's amazing.
But like, we know that because like McDaniels calls every play.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I think that they could hold over for like a year or two, and then when Brady leaves, they can get a new offensive coordinator or whatever. Or Chad might be amazing. We don't know. So, yeah, it's kind of an unknown. But I think this team could, even on paper, be better next year than it is this year. The coaching thing is tough. But on paper, this team, this roster, could be better.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be the best this year, too. So it could even get even better.
No, well, they lost. They're definitely not the best team. I've said this numerous times. They're definitely not the best team of the last 4 years.
But at the beginning of the season, it was looking like that.
The beginning of the season, with all their players healthy, it was looking like they were supposed to be, yes.
Yeah. Rob says, in terms of what we were talking about, Zimmer, he's an above-average coach.
Yeah. Agreed.
I would agree as well. Let's see.
It's tough to go to your third string quarterback and still make it to the NFC Championship. So you got to give that some credit.
And it's hard to go with your backup to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Good Cant says Giants will draft a quarterback, just doesn't know which. Yeah, I could see that.
Probably.
If they still have Saquon there, they might want to interest themselves in taking him.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's elite. That's just how I see it. I know the concern of length, but
no, I don't like running back pick in the first round. They just haven't had a consistent run game. I think it would change their kind of style. Like, they haven't had that run game for about 10 years now. If he turns out to be a great player, it would be nice to have. But I think the quarterback is bigger. And I know that we're not even into the mock draft stage yet. And we don't even really know, and we don't really feel like the quarterbacks are very strong in this draft. But I think that's what you need most. Your Eli is done.
That's their number one concern. It also comes down, like you said, we haven't know the combine stuff and what they're going to produce there. I just think,
and I don't think this defense in terms of talent is too far away from being good again. I just think they need a coaching change and stuff like that. So I don't know. The Giants are an interesting team going into next year. I don't think they're going to be good, but I think that they have intrigue to them.
They'll probably be. Depends on Kirk.
They'll probably be average.
I think they'll probably
be average.
Yeah, I think they'll be third in the NFC East. I don't know. Depends on what the Redskins do.
Depends on Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
I think they could be second. I think the Cowboys are still going to struggle, and I think Redskins are going to be done. But I think the Giants can get it together well enough, still with that defense and that offense, that they can beat out the Cowboys, and the Cowboys would be third, in my opinion.
I disagree with you, but there you go.
Well, I just looking at what we saw,
Yeah,
and like,
you're wondering why he's on my side.
Oh, that's just.
So he is on your side. So he is on your side, Mitch.
I'm not on this side.
Oh, I don't know, but that's what you said.
Mitch just said it. Dylan, Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch says it, so that takes my word for it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's not true,
Okay.
but you know.
Well, what's going on?
What?
I have my own opinions.
Okay. I think you guys got some conspiracy thing going on with the Pats.
I have no idea. Dylan's just on point with his analysis today.
Yeah.
Let me get my helmet real quick. I'll send it over to Mitch. Give me his thoughts there. We trade off every once in a while.
Yeah. See?
Totally.
He's on point.
Black Mirror shit's going down. I know.
Black Mirror shit, yeah. Totally.
Well, you have Kevol in your back pocket.
I don't, not at all. Kevil hates the Eagles. I had my biggest discussions against the Eagles with Kevil.
Kevil loves the Eagles.
No, he hates them all season long.
I don't agree with that. Ultra says Newman needs to retire. He's fucking old. He's 39 years old. I'm sorry. He needs to go.
Hey, I'm gonna cut this short. I have to go. I have to have dinner. It's been a while.
Oh, and okay. See you on this note. We'll see you, AC. Lane Johnson is the first to call the shot. It's time for them to be dethroned, he says.
But that's not a guarantee or anything.
No, but you said there's going to be no bulletin board material. So
no, but that's not like we're going to go and win the Super Bowl. That guy's trash. It's just like, yeah, it's time, for a new team to take over. That's respectable.
Okay. All right. Have a good night. Enjoy your dinner.
Take care. Go Eagles. Knock, knock. The wrath is coming.
How do I take your side is what I feel. I mean, like.
Don't worry about it. See what he's doing? Is he's trying to make you feel like you're on my side.
He tries to spin it.
You're not.
That's just what it is.
But you're not, so that you then go on his side. See?
First of all, this is the same guy a couple weeks ago was like, oh yeah, Team Dilly. Yeah. So I don't know. Did I break up with him? I don't fucking know. We'll continue here. We got a couple more comments for sure.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for sticking around with us this whole time. We've had great, consistent viewership. Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Some atrocious Seahawks fans think they're going to do well next season. Yeah, right, buddies. Yeah. Okay.
Seahawks? What?
Yeah, Seahawks fans.
They think they're going to do good?
Yeah, somebody said
might.
Somebody said 12-4. You think they're going to go 12-4? If you have
Russell Wilson, you have a shot.
You think they're going to go 12-4? Somebody said
no. They could go 10-6.
I'm right now. I'm projecting them to go 8-8. Obviously, that's 8 more months away, but let's see. We're gonna keep going. Got a lot of them here. Fact or fiction? Niners go 10-6 next year.
I need to see.
They get a really
I need to see
schedule.
who they get. I need to see their free agency. They have so much cap. I need to see their draft. They very well could.
They do have a really easy schedule.
And honestly, if they started the season with Garoppolo, they might have been 10-6, even with that shitty team that they had.
A very shitty team. No receivers. They need to draft a receiver. I'm sorry. Christian Kirk has to be at the top of their list for them because he got no fucking receivers. Let's see. You gotta keep figuring out. Oh yeah, Bodo says I'm also on your side too. That's what he puts there. Yeah, totally.
You hate me, Bodo. Get out of here.
Kill 'em boys hates Kev. He said
F. Doesn't.
Kev. He said doesn't. F Kev. He's acting like a bitch. I wouldn't go. That's a little harsh. That's very harsh. Let's see. There's a lot of comments, guys. A lot of. Somebody told me that Kevin Durant says that Phil Simms is a better quarterback than Peyton Manning. Do you agree with this? Any standard?
I love Phil Simms, but no.
No. Sorry,
Phil Simms is probably top
40?
35.
Okay, we were close there. Because he's like, he said Peyton Manning's not a top 5 quarterback.
Peyton Manning's a top 3 quarterback of all time.
I said number 3. So he also said Jim Kelly was a better quarterback than Peyton Manning, which again, no. Sorry. I'm sorry, bro. No, I can't agree.
Yeah.
I cannot agree with that. The one about Drew Brees is debatable, but you can't tell me. You just
I think Drew Brees,
I said top 8 is what I said.
I still think he's top 10. I don't know if he's quite there. I don't even know if he's top 10. Honestly, I think he's in the top 10, he's somewhere from, if you say he's top 8, that's respectable. If you say he's 8, I don't think he's any higher than 8. He's 8 to 12, in my opinion.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
That's my opinion. It's fine.
Again, that's also just like what we're thinking right now. You kind of have to also like study this.
Yeah,
like,
you have to wait until he's retired and stuff. So,
there you go. That's how I feel about that.
Once he gets all his records, though, he could bump up like a spot or 2.
Yeah, all of his regular season records, like super impressive. The touchdown one, the consecutive touchdown one, I don't think will be broken.
Yeah. Maybe it will. Passing league.
Maybe I should say for a while because like there's probably gonna be a long more time for football. Unless your name's Tom Brady. Let's see. Save our
never gonna be broken. I like honestly.
Well, the 201.
I can say that with confidence.
At the very least, the 201 game win streak or wins is not going to be broken,
which is way higher now.
That was released at the end of last year.
Yeah.
So he's got 13 for. He's got 15.
We're in the middle of last year, I think.
Was it? Yeah. So he's got at least 20 more. So yeah, that's crazy. Let's see.
That's insane, man. You have to average like 13 wins a game. Like wins a season.
Well, like when there was a stat that said if Brady has 12 wins in a season, his winning percentage would go down. Like that's insane.
Yeah. No, yeah. And think about this. I mean, I don't want to make this a Patriots love fest, and I don't think I have, despite what AC has said on this video. I can't be excited that my team has made the Super Bowl. But anyways, they have made 8 Super Bowls in his 16 years.
That's 50%. Like that's 50%. I just like what are we supposed to say? This is a good like if we're talking the same way, everybody like let's put this in the modern perspective of the Chicago Bulls. Would have been the exact fucking thing. And then people, oh yeah, you keep talking about all that. Well, they're a fucking good team, that's why. Like
well, and that's basketball too.
Basketball. Jordan only got to 6. I don't know.
And he won all of them. That's what people say. They won all of them. Because your goal is not to make it there every time despite losing. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, if LeBron were to win 6, just for example, this is an NBA argument. If LeBron were to win 6, which I think there's no possibility he's going to.
No.
But let's say he wins 5 or 6, right? People would still say, look, Jordan is better as a winner. I think Jordan's still a better player. But, like, if LeBron were to win all those, people would still be like, oh, well, Jordan never lost in the finals. Bro, first off, it's your team that wins and loses. And second...
How many times has he been the only contributor to their teams in the finals?
Second, how many times do you need... Like, why... Like, Jordan lost in the first or second round. Why is that better than losing in the finals?
And also, LeBron at once averaged a triple-double in the finals. Like... Come on now. Like
I'm still a Jordan guy, and I probably always will be over LeBron. But the thing is, like, that's just dumb. It's the same thing that people said about like when Brady had 4 and he lost 2, and now he has 5 and he lost 2.
And they were like, oh, but Montana went 4 for 4.
Dumb. Yeah, but you look at Joe Montana's conference championship record, and he lost like so many games there. So like
he lost at least once to Dallas.
How could you say all that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Although I will say in LeBron, he's also lost 5. And that's not very good on your rest.
Yeah, I know. But like, let's say he won 5. And lost
so if he was
5
5-5,
went to 10.
That's fucking insane. It's also the exact same thing as Brady. He's been to the last 7 NBA finals. So fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's insane.
Although it's the same thing with Nick Saban.
That's insane, although he has jumped around from team to team. But
he's been on 2 teams. But
did you see the Kevin Durant picture? He's now a Patriot.
Oh yeah.
Next chapter, Kevin Durant.
He just decides, I'm a tall, lanky motherfucker. I'm gonna go over there and beat ass. I love how he tries to be intimidating this season, but he's fucking not. All right, that's NBA. Let's continue it. Let's figure out the last of these comments. Maybe we should do some NBA on the side after the season.
Maybe.
We started and we did a season preview. We never finished. I don't even know where.
You know what I was just thinking about during this recap? I was thinking about if Raw tomorrow is an 8 out of 10 for me, I'll review the show.
You'll review the show. Oh.
Well, it is Raw 25, and we still have wrestling viewers, and we still have people who comment on our videos, bring back wrestling, and we still have people that DM me, bring back wrestling. Now, I'm not going to bring back wrestling because I think it sucks. It's doggy doo-doo.
The only 2 times we would do this would be tomorrow and WrestleMania.
Yeah, but if Raw 25 is great and I pop, which I probably will more than once, I'm going to review the show.
I'd join you for that. Because that's probably what I'm going to watch tomorrow night is Raw.
Yeah, same. And I hope the ratings are good, because then people can say, that it's not wrestling, it's actually just WWE being fucking terrible. Because because Dylan, I know that we're ranting about something that's not NFL right now, but like people say that people are just disinterested in wrestling. Now it's not that.
No.
It's that the show sucks. Fucking ball sacks.
Yeah, you know how many fans that have grown in this internet age? Like, there's so many fans of wrestling.
Do you know how many people I know that used to be a wrestling fan?
So many.
Used to be?
No, every time it's like, even older people are like... Oh,
it's as many people that think, I don't know. I don't know what I was
just used to be good. It's not because of, like... Why would we ever want to come on here and be like, I fucking hate this show? There's no reason to do that. I want to be entertained and get paid, not just get paid. Like, I don't get paid. But still, like, you get the emphasis on that. Like,
How do you like your jersey? Do you want to show the people that your jersey?
Yes. I got it over here. Hold on.
You better put that in case. It's meant for a case. Case Keenum.
It's currently in the same situation as my WrestleMania jerseys, where I have a hanger and it's just hung up in a really nice area in my room. But this is the Sean Lee jersey.
Yeah, look at that jersey.
It's very nice. I think it's even if I wanted to wear this, it is the correct size, but I'm not going to.
All the jerseys like that come as a XL.
Oh well, then they just really know. They really know how to fit a man's snuggie.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder why. That's interesting.
I do want to also say that there is Packer. I believe it's Packer who won our fantasy league. Dylan, you need to get him some fucking what's it called? I'll send you the money, but you need to get some gift certificates or a gift certificate to something because I can't because it's American.
Oh.
So I don't know if you have to do it online or like
because I can't
know how that's gonna work.
Yeah, I guess since I don't have it, yeah, I could do that.
Because I can't get him a Canadian one because it wouldn't work. Okay. So we need to get an American to do it. So
okay, yeah, send me everything. We'll talk about that later. Is he in the chat? Is that
no? But I have his email.
Okay. Let's see if we got any more comments here. Somebody's talking about Tannehill's wife. Is Tannehill's wife hot?
I heard she's hot, bro. AC was making fun of me. I never knew it was a bad thing to talk about hot women. I'm sorry.
Well, I actually follow. This is the only person, like, in terms of football wives, I actually follow because she's hot.
Who?
Amendola's wife, Olivia Chuplo. That's her name.
Yeah, and the thing about the Patriots is they all have freaking hot wives, dude.
Well, okay, so I'm looking at her. The Tannehill's wife.
Yeah, apparently she's pretty hot.
I'm like a big an eyebrow guy. Like if I don't like your eyebrows, it's a turnoff for me. It's kind of not looking that way, but
Let me see.
She's pretty.
Okay, I get the eyebrow thing.
Yeah,
yeah she's pretty hot.
I'll give it.
I'll give it to you.
I'll give Ryan's
I don't think she's as good looking as Danny Amendola's wife, though.
Yeah, I would agree.
Or not wife, but girlfriend. Yeah. Who else? Eric Decker has a good one.
Eric Decker. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
is he Jesse James Decker or something? I don't remember his name.
I think so.
But yeah, they I just remember they took like a pregnant picture together. It was fucking weird. It's right before. I don't know, for one of the photo shoots or something. Should Eli retire next year? Says Sean Jordan.
This year.
He should have retired right after he won a second.
Now he should come out with a tweet that says I'm retired.
He should have retired after his second Super Bowl win, so he could have been like, "Yeah, I'm on the fucking top, and I'll never be here again." But
that's the best Eli you've ever seen.
Those two playoff runs,
that good. That's the question. And also, the Patriots have never played a quarterback in the Super Bowl that's this bad.
Yeah,
and I know he played amazing.
Okay, so let's go through this real quick. So 2001,
Kurt Warner.
So definitely not. 2003, they played Jake Delhomme, who you could consider the second worst of this group.
He was starting, and he was a good quarterback at that point, though.
Yeah, he was definitely that. Okay, so
yeah, but
no, I'm not giving flag, but I'm just saying overall comparison, you'd probably be the second worst on this list.
Yeah, for sure.
2004 would be
McNabb.
So definitely not. Then we go to 2007, Eli. 11,
Eli again.
2000,
Russell Wilson.
Definitely not.
Matt Ryan, MVP Matt Ryan.
And now here. I just wanted to see the structure on quarterback. Those are pretty good quarterbacks, honestly.
Yeah. People say New England beat nobody. Anyways.
Warner at the very least is a Hall of Famer. McNabb is borderline.
Matt Ryan is borderline at this point, to be honest. Eli Russell Wilson will probably make it.
So every quarterback they're gonna face
except for Jake Delhomme.
Yeah. And this guy.
And Nick Foles. Yeah. I'm just pointing that out there.
Yeah.
That does matter, especially with 2 weeks of preparation.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Somebody's talking about the Patriots cheating again. When do we not see this in this chat?
I actually think was it Kevin Durkant? He's the guy that always says the Patriots cheat, but he actually said they won fair. I give it to him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was.
He stood up today. Yeah, no, so it was somebody else that said that. Somebody else was cheating about. Kevin says Peyton is the 6th best quarterback of all time. That's what he said.
Who are your top 5?
I want to hear that. He also says Eli isn't top 50, so thank you. I agree on that. We can agree. He is, in my opinion, the most overrated quarterback in the history of this game.
He might. No, he's probably not. Second time.
He's probably not. I'll give him maybe top 100. I'll give him top 100.
Top 100 for sure.
I'll give him top 1.
I'd give him top 75 for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll give you that one too. But no more. Nothing more. People were talking about WWE. Guys, we will never bring it back. We're just gonna do special every once.
Unless it gets to 4 million viewers again. No.
Because when it was successful on our channel was when they were successful. So, it meant something, even if it was shitty. Now it's now we're appealing to fucking nobody.
Yeah, I know.
And that is it for comments.
All right, guys. It's been a long one. I hope you guys enjoyed. You got a little bit of a taste of AC versus me. I'm sorry. He's going to be unbearable for 2 weeks. Man, it's not just me, right? He changes. It's in the game, it's oh yeah, okay, I got confidence in my Eagles. I know what we're doing. It's an actual practical. And then when he comes on here, it's not just it's not the Eagles though. It's when it's the Patriots that I think that he gets annoyed. It's his curse thing, bro. It's his curse. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. You may see a promo from me in the next couple of days. We'll see. Maybe a Raw 25 review tomorrow. You know what? Any video suggestions you have for the next 2 weeks or for the off season in the NFL, hit us up on Twitter.
Yep.
You can go at BottomLineView or at Mitch Milani or at WrestlingGod27. So go there on Twitter.
Because I know at least one video I've got planned is going to be during those 2 weeks, but I know I got to release a couple.
Yeah.
So.
And we will probably also for sure recap the 04 Super Bowl Patriots Eagles.
Yes, that's a good one.
So, yeah. All right. Thanks, guys. It's Mitch, Dilly Vanilli, Kevil, AC. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, like the video. Peace out. Have a good night.